It's time to talk about Superman. Henry Cavill's Superman is confirmed. The Henry Cavill Superman movie will be coming out, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of it has E-Man's over there happy as ever. A lot of it has to do with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as well. There's some shocking stuff in this article that we're going to get to, so let's get to it now.
And that's exactly what you guys are going to do. You guys are going to talk to me because I have some bold stuff to say on this show.
And that also means that people are going to call in and talk to me on the topic. Let's get it. This article right here that just broke today from the Hollywood Reporter talks about how The Rock and James Gunn both have interest in Warner Brothers. James Gunn has a movie that's going to coming out, maybe a couple of movies that they're working on, but a lot of his stuff is under wraps. When it comes to Dwayne Johnson, though, his stuff is very much more open. While it isn't clear what hero teams Gunn is targeting and the writer-director will focus on the second season of Peacemaker first, the studio's eyes are very much on Superman. Under Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav and Warner Brothers Pictures heads Michael DeLuca and Pam Adby. Warner's had an intense desire to reprise the Cavill iteration of the hero. The project that would essentially be Man of Steel 2 is being produced by Charles Roven and is currently in search for writers. Charles Roven is a great producer who worked on a lot of the DC projects, Wonder Woman, a lot of the Snyder movies, the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy.
All right. You said Snyder, bro.
Trouble. All right, keep it going. They're looking for writers. There is a wish list, of course, and Christopher McQuarrie, the hand that guides the Mission Impossible movies. He did Mission Impossible Fallout with Henry Cavill.
That's good.
He's kind of on a short list to be one of the writers to come on board, director to come on board and do the installment. The Rock, however, has Superman plans of his own. He's been very vocal about his desire to make a Black Adam versus Superman movie. Listen, be careful and weary about these Black Adam or Superman versus movies because it makes me think about BVS. And when you try to put characters together to fight, sometimes that shit don't work out. Looking at the Zack Snyderverse, all right. A desire he has only reiterated more frequently in the lead up to Adam. This comes as talks up to surprise his role at the end of Adam, with the actor all but stating that Cavill will appear. Insiders are wondering if those calls are intended to goose the movie's opening weekend box office numbers to maneuver Superman into his own chess square, or perhaps both. Now we're going to get into some details that even I didn't know about. Wherever the case, Johnson is definitely at the center of Cavill's return to DC, which was not without some drama of its own. Johnson's manager, Danny Garcia, who is also, former wife, is also representing Cavill as well. That's what we all knew, right? That's where the rumors came from. Mm-hmm. Superman as well as Cavill were not in the initial plans for Black Adam. The idea was hatched during a round of reshoots for the movie earlier this year, but the cameo was nixed by Walter Hamada. Walter Hamada put the nix on Henry Cavill being Superman in Black Adam. He did not want what he believes to be a Zack Snyder Superman to be in Black Adam. He very much wants to go the opposite direction of anything Snyder. Even though Henry Cavill has alluded to the fact that he doesn't want to be a Snyder Superman, Henry Cavill has come out and said that he does think that Snyder Superman was a little bit too dark and he wanted to do something more light. Yeah. But he was there for the announcement of the Snyder Cut, so I think that put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. Okay? It was nixed by Hamada, the executive for who the last 4 years tried hard to move DC beyond the era where one filmmaker, in this case, Snyder, had an inordinate amount of influence and could command an entire slate for years. He wanted to move past that total dominating freaking one guy rules it all type of situation. Bullshit. Right. Hamada had his own Superman plans, one of them involving, here's where it gets trash, introducing a black Superman with a multi-decade spanning out story by writer Ta-Nehisi Coates. Now, I'm not for that shit. A black Superman instead of a traditional Superman being uplifted, completely against that. Nice. Now, if that is the case, and it seems that is, Walter Hamada, your idea was for this black freaking Superman idea from Michael B. Jordan and for this other black Superman to be in films, two black Supermen at the same time? You got to miss me with that woke bullshit. Nobody wants that. That's weak. After Hamada said no, Johnson went around the executive, turning to DeLuca and Adby, who gave him the thumbs up. A furious round of negotiating occurred before Labor Day, a deadline insisted by Warner's, with the scene shot in mid-September. This thing was shot mid-September of what? Of last year? Or are we talking about the September we just came off of?
September we
Maybe
just came off of.
A few weeks ago, Henry Cavill showed up and then did those scenes.
Suit it up, baby.
Do you
Suit
see?
up, baby.
Do you see how these reshoots affect? You see, this gives us a gauge. Just weeks ago, Henry Cavill was chilling, doing his own thing, and he got a call. Yo, come in. We doing reshoots. You're in the movie. Really? I'm in the movie. All right, here I come. It can happen that quick.
Shout out to $7.
When you're in a movie to when you're out the goddamn movie.
Mm-hmm.
You see how that it worked? It get down. This Michael DeLuca guy. He's like, these two people are running the HBO, the DC Films division, and they answer only to David Zaslav. So think of David Zaslav as Disney's Bob Iger, and think of the DeLuca team with the Adby as, your Feige.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the situation is. Rock ran around, Hamada and everybody else went straight to like the big dog. They gave the thumbs up for this movie to come out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know that Henry Cavill's Superman movie is coming out. How do we feel about it?
I'm excited. First of all, I'm happy that Henry Cavill have this opportunity to really show the world his Superman. Zack Snyder hold the shit out of him completely.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean Zack Snyder hold Henry Cavill?
Zack Snyder is not a Superman fan. He wanted the Superman to be dark. He wanted Superman to be twisted.
Yeah.
He didn't want the light of Superman. He didn't want what Martha Kent and Jonathan Kent taught him whatsoever. He wanted that to be scrapped. And, he didn't want Superman to be higher than the human beings. He
didn't think Superman was cool.
It was on another level.
And he wanted to destroy him. His words, I'm trying to tear him down. I want to destroy him. No respect for Superman.
He didn't want that, American boy whatsoever, bro. He didn't want
Can we give some credit to the new? This does not happen without new management. This move does not happen without Warner Brothers Discovery. This is a Warner Brothers Discovery move. Zaslav came in. He said he wants to appoint Superman, bring him up off the shelf, the Trinity. And he also appointed DeLuca.
Him and Dwayne Johnson, because Dwayne Johnson pushed this. Because $7 pushed this, his company pushed this, it made it happen. He went over the next person's head to make it happen. So shout out to Dwayne Johnson for making this happen, because Henry Cavill will still be in the wraps.
Right.
He will still be stuck. So I'm happy, bro.
But even Dwayne Johnson didn't have the ability to make this happen with the old management. He himself has said, since the new management is gone, since the old management is gone and there's new management, we got Cavill in. Yeah. Because they were staying ironclad. No Henry Cavill Superman. They didn't want that.
What I like about this, too, is Cavill is a Superman fan, too, man. He always wanted to give the world the right Superman. You know what I'm saying? And then we talk about writers. Man, these other writers sound cool, but I'm going to keep it a buck. Somebody who loves Superman, somebody who wanted Superman, somebody that is a friend of mine, Patty Jenkins, bro. Patty wanted to do this already for the longest. Why not let her do it now?
That's right.
Why not let her bring Superman all the way through, bro? You know what I'm saying? We need this. We want this. We want to have the full 7, bro. We want the full 7. We can't get that right. We got to get Superman right first. Then you get Batman later. Then you get Wonder Woman. Then you get all that. We got to get them all right, bro. And Superman is the number one hero that we got to get done right. Superman's been whole for years. And it's just not fair, bro. I'm happy as hell that we're getting this great, amazing, terrific news, and I just want to keep it just full speed ahead.
Good.
Bro.
You're happy about the whole entire situation. I'm incredibly happy about the whole entire situation, but I have some caveats that I got to talk about. Sad, how you feeling, bro?
This is big news, man. This is
big. Superman is coming.
This is big for DC. I'm happy for the fans.
Hey, Serge.
I'm happy for the
DC
Rock.
rises.
I'm happy for the Rock. I'm happy the most, to be honest with you, for Henry Cavill.
Fact.
Because imagine you get the role of a lifetime and it's not quite what you thought it was going to be. It's like when Dave Chappelle got all that money. He said it wasn't the right deal. It was the right money, but it wasn't the right deal. This is hopefully what Henry needs. He knows this is a role of a lifetime. And every time he had it, he couldn't quite get it right. Not because of his own ability, but because he has to act out what's on the page.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time the page will be much better. I know from personal experience, Nada will tell you, I was in Atlanta with the people who work on Black Adam.
Yep.
3 days, 4 days too late. It's a wrap. I was there for July 4th, and I believe they stopped filming on the 17th of June. I wanted to go for my birthday, June 12th, and I couldn't afford it because gas prices and plane prices was too high. I got there to try and work in the art department. I don't care if I'm sweeping up. I just wanted to see
Yeah.
part of that Black Adam.
Yeah.
I'm friends with people close to The Rock, and they were chilling. We eating Reese's Cups, watching TV. Oh, we good for a little while. We gonna take a rest. They taking a rest in, so they didn't know. I said, yo, he's looking good. This Black Adam, he's gonna be the best. This might be his biggest movie yet. They said, I hope so. But they were done, and those were reshoots in June. Reshoots by the 4th of July, they were wrapped. So if they came in September and shot something else, when I was talking to the people around The Rock, they would have told me, we're shooting again. Save your money, come back, you could work on, because I just wanted to work on the lot. I don't care if I'm holding the mic.
Even they didn't know. It shows that they didn't know. Yeah.
And this is the people within the 5 to 8 people that's around him, all assistants around him at all times. Even he didn't know if it was going to happen. So yeah, it has to, what Jody says, I think is correct, because even management, even his team didn't even know they was going back to work right after that.
This is true. This is all true. And I knew for a little while. About there being a Superman movie. I knew for a little while about there being a Henry Cavill tied to it. Go ahead.
If you're in New York City and you work out, The Rock has been showing up at gyms, working out at regular gyms, David Barton, Reebok Club, various gyms through Chelsea, Manhattan, showing up, working out in a Black Adam t-shirt that says anti-hero. How crazy is that? Hashtag Google it you'll catch people on Instagram just like The Rock just came through to work out. Was that me?
That
wasn't me.
It's okay. So
But
yeah.
but the Superman news is even bigger than the Black Adam news. So who'd have
Yes.
thought The Rock? I was talking about The Rock a few weeks ago because what big power, what big influence he has. The old bosses probably gave him all that pushback.
Yep.
And then
Definitely they did.
Zaslav came in and was like, "You're a top seller. Superman's our top brand. If this is what you want, I think we could figure that out." I don't worry about the fighting movies. The only thing is that I do know, The Rock is not supposed to lose. You know what I mean? And Superman never loses. So it's going to be tough to see how they would figure out that aspect of the movie. But you got to admit, Rock comes from wrestling, where up and down and up and down. So I think they could both get it off and we still get a great movie from both of them. Is that movie too big? Is it too big?
I don't want that right now.
You don't want them
No,
versus each
I think
other.
it's a mistake. It's a mistake to do The Rock versus Black Adam versus Superman, because that inorganic fighting movie headline thing doesn't work. Looking at BVS, yeah, that movie is atrocious, but it happened too soon. BVS should have came out like around this time, after organically putting movies building up to it. You don't do Man of Steel and then do BVS right after that.
Doesn't it have to happen before Justice League, though? How can they get into such a bad place where they want to fight if they already knew each other?
It's okay to have it before
they're
Justice
bros
League.
now.
It's okay to have them before Justice League. Justice League is so many years away, and we're not even thinking about Justice League right now.
At all.
No,
But you need to have a multiple amount of films under your belt teasing a fight like that to make it a movie. I think that it's okay to have Superman and Black Adam fight in a movie, but to make that movie called like Black Adam versus Superman or Adam versus Superman, make it about just those two characters, and then having little cameos here, I don't think that that's necessarily a good idea. Henry Cavill's story has been told for the most part. He's been in a few DC movies. I don't necessarily think that Henry Cavill is going to ink in a multiple movie deal. And I mean multiple solo movies. I think it just might be just this Man of Steel 2 film and a couple of cameos. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he gonna get this next Superman movie off, and then we gonna see what happens after that. In my opinion, I believe in my heart of hearts that Patty should not touch this Henry Cavill Superman movie.
Why not?
it's Henry Cavill Snyder Superman, bro. Like no matter what, it's still he is a product of another director, of a past time, of a different universe, bro. And even though I support this Superman movie and I want this motherfucker and I'm excited, this is just an old product still living. You know what I mean? I think we need another Superman. I'm loving this and I'm taking it, but I think there needs to be another one. Because this one here is just, and the fact that even if you call it Man of Steel 2, that's a problem for me. I don't want it to be called Man of Steel 2. Deviate 100% away from Snyderverse. You feel what I'm saying?
Like reboot.
Call
like
that motherfucker Man of Tomorrow. Call that shit.
That's what Henry wanted.
I think, Patty should direct a Superman movie called Son of Krypton, Last Son of Krypton. I'd be fired, but call it something else. Man of Steel 2, that's brand recognition. And it makes the fans, me being one of them, and a lot of other ones who are probably at home, what do you think when you think about Man of Steel? Snyderverse, BVS, the Justice League, depressing,
breaking neck,
darkness, bullshit.
But isn't that
So you don't want a sequel of that? You don't want a sequel of depression?
But isn't that 6 years off, 7 years off? Like how?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Off?
8 years? Yeah.
You mean this Superman Henry Cavill movie? I don't think so.
No. For you to talk about a brand new Superman for Patty to direct, it's like she might miss her window. What's she gonna be? 60? How old is she gonna be? 8 years from now? 10 years from now?
I don't think it'll be 10
years. And is she gonna have that?
I don't think it'll be 10 years. I
They
think
got
that
Flashpoint coming, then 3-year build up for this filming, then 8 years.
If they're working on this movie right now,
Man, it still was 2013.
if they're working on this movie right now, which is in early development, which means find a writer, this movie could be out in 2025.
Right. And then to cast a new Superman and to build that up, we're looking at damn near 2030, 2029 at best.
Well, Flashpoint is
There could
coming.
be a Superman movie. There could be another Superman movie in 2026, 27.
Flashpoint is coming.
A year to make the movie with a brand new Superman while he's filming? Ain't that disrespectful? I don't think they would do Henry like that.
Why is that disrespectful?
You've seen them filming multiple movies.
I guess here's what I'm thinking. After Flashpoint comes out, we'll have this discussion because I don't think it makes sense to a lot of people. They're not factoring in what Flashpoint is.
Because even though like we
or can do,
even though they, I get it with the Man of Steel, but even though we get that with Flashpoint, Henry Cavill Superman is going to be different. He's not going to be that same.
We hope, yes, I believe he will.
The DC Universe is wiping everything Snyder out.
I believe Henry Cavill Superman, but calling it Man of Steel 2 should be off the table. I'm 100% ironclad against it being called Man of Steel 2 because that just doubles down the bullshit that I'm afraid of.
So you wanted them to? I mean, on this note,
do you feel me on that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, because like I said, the Zod is always going to be a touchy thing about the breaking neck.
Flashpoint.
That's what
Flashpoint has Zod Faora in it, and Flash is running to the past. We don't know what Flashpoint will do to Henry Cavill's lineage in the DC universe.
So I believe that if since Zod and Faora is in it, as you said before, back in the day, that he may stop Superman from breaking his neck.
Nah, someone in the chat said that, and it blew my mind.
That made Superman, because after that happened, that made him dark and twisted.
Yeah.
If that never happened, he still had the light in him. But
that'll be a different Superman,
right? And that's what we want. We want a different Superman.
Yeah,
we want a traditional Superman.
Yeah, but it's still Henry though. The fans' brand recognition. It's his face to that costume. People are gonna.
When we see Flashpoint, we're gonna see freaking Ezra Miller. He's still tied to Snyder, no matter what.
But he never had a movie.
It doesn't matter. We still see.
It does.
We see.
Ezra Miller doesn't have a brand in DC. There's no
though.
Flash brand.
He's still a part of it. Just like
there's no Flash brand. There's no brand recognition to Ezra Miller. There's no stock under him. Gal Gadot has it as Wonder Woman. Ben Affleck has it as Batman. Henry Cavill has it as Superman. Jason Momoa has it as Aquaman. That's it.
But they still. But we liked Aquaman. The Aquaman when it came out. James, what was his name?
James Wan.
Okay, I did say okay. James Wan changed everything of Aquaman.
Yeah, he did.
So that Aquaman that we saw in the Snyder is not the same. That's gone. That shit's over with.
That's exactly what Henry Cavill Superman needs to be. Like Aquaman, Jason James Wan's was totally different than the Snyder
Right.
version. Unheroic and woohoo, bro trash. And then James Wan made him a king. That's what this new Henry Cavill Superman movie needs to be. And the first move to make that, to prove to me that it's different, is not calling it Man of Steel anything. Especially not Man of Steel 2.
I truly think that, as I said, that we all know they're gonna wipe all that shit out to the point where fans can understand that Snyder's versus is gone. Even though we have Henry Cavill, this is a different version of Superman now. He's a whole different. What we saw from back then, all the issues and stuff is gone.
You're
It's changed.
hoping that,
I
and I believe
Why
it to
wouldn't
be
DC?
true.
Why wouldn't they do it?
I believe it to be true. This is
They wouldn't bring him
this
back.
Is a new.
They wouldn't bring him back if they gonna keep the same bullshit. You know, Henry Cavill didn't want that bullshit. But as an actor, you got no choice if you're trying to eat and trying to take what you got.
I got to keep it a buck. I got to keep it 1,000. I want Patty to get a different Superman. I don't want it to be Henry. Henry's tainted.
Right, but don't you think?
Do you feel like
That's messed up, man.
I don't
He's
think
ta-
she has an. I don't think she has an option. It's like, all right, I'm gonna wait for the next train. That might be 45 minutes till you catch the next train. I'm gonna let this one go because this ain't the right. It stink on that train. I'm gonna wait for the next train. Like, I don't know if she has that. You know, between the Wonder, it just seemed crazy to me. And I don't think Ezra. I don't think people are invested in the Flash, but we
At
weren't
all.
invested in Jason Momoa until he got his own movie. Everybody you name had a solo movie. Once Ezra gets this movie, unless they pull a MacGuffin, not a MacGuffin, what's
Switch.
it called?
A switch.
It's a mulligan. Unless they pull a mulligan and switch him out,
We're gonna hate it. We're gonna hate him as Flash. If they keep him as the Flash, fans are gonna hate him. They have to.
people
switch him
already
out.
hate him? He's Ezra Miller.
Right.
No one likes him.
But if DC keep Ezra Miller as the Flash, it's gonna make their network go down a little bit more because he's the Flash. They have to change the person. You have to change
Okay.
the person. Henry Cavill,
Okay.
whatever. People love him. People didn't like the fact of what Snyder did. We all know what Snyder did, but people have love for Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is the comic book community, the nerd community. He's a nerd, bro. He is a
Yes.
nerd. Ezra Miller is too, but he's a different. He's on the other side. Henry is a nerd.
Who has love for Henry Cavill? Who are they? Who are they mostly?
Nerds.
He says
Women.
Snyder people.
They're Snyder people, bro.
So you telling me people who
They're the ones putting out their tweets. They're the ones bullying, taunting with Henry Cavill's
Are
face
they
everywhere.
Are they that small or are they millions though? How many do you think it is? How many
Bots.
those
There's a lot of bots and scams and shit behind it, but there's a lot of nerds with a lot of time on their hands.
but
bro.
Henry ain't about that shit. He ain't about
I know
that.
he's not. I know he's not.
I feel like this, bro. Even though like the BBS, the Man of Steel, I feel like with this person, he had the short end of the stick. We have to give him
Henry-
out of all people a chance.
We have to give Henry
Why
Cavill
not?
a chance. No, we don't.
He
He's
never
had
got
shots,
an opportunity to really be Superman.
Yes, he was. He was Superman in Joss Whedon's edit of Justice League.
Josh, we didn't change everything of it, and
we saw him.
You
And
went
it was-
nuts about that when we saw it.
It was only until then where I was like, yes, Henry, you could be Superman. But then what happened after that? That nigga showed up in Snyder's stream. You announced the Snyder Cut. That obviously you were garbage in. Superman was worse in the Snyder Cut than he was in Justice League. So what are you there for? You think that the optics of Warner Brothers saw that and were like, for show. He screwed himself doing that. But
Nah,
he's
maybe
back.
he was contractually. You don't know what contractually he had to
And
do.
nobody is contractually obligated to Snyder. He was an outcast.
Everybody got to eat too, bro. Think about that. You got to eat. You're an
Cavill
actor.
is eating well off of other things. He doesn't
now, but he wasn't eating. He wasn't eating well. I mean, you know.
Yeah, he was.
What was it? Mission Impossible.
He had
I know.
other roles.
I know he was eating well. and
Fallout
other stuff,
came out in 2018,
but
a year after Justice League did.
And he even said
and
it.
he got
He's-
The Witcher.
he even said it when
He had Man from Uncle. He's
people-
doing other things.
He even said that he always wanted to have Superman, Man of Tomorrow. That was his. That came out of his mouth. So I feel like even though that situation.
I get
was
what
that,
you're saying.
we should
I'm
give
not
him-
trying
we
to.
should
I'm
give
not
him
trying to be a
opportunity, bro.
contrarian. I'm not trying to be a contrarian to Henry Cavill becoming Superman because I like the fact that he's getting a Superman movie and he's coming out. I'm just telling you, before we act like fanboys and throw our Superman panties off and throw it in the air, understand what we went through in the past. I do not want to make that same mistake again.
We have the luxury of not knowing Zack Snyder, right? Henry doesn't have that. Henry has worked
Oh,
with
I
this
know him.
man for months at a time and spent time laughing, joking, eating burgers, trying to help him see his vision. This guy was Henry's boss, and it left on such an awkward terms. The daughter committing suicide, Zach bowing out, and them trying to figure out how to pull this movie together. Then your boy, who you're friends with, who you might not agree with on the vision for the superhero. He was your boss. He hired you. He gave you the shot of a lifetime. And then he calls you a year later after his daughter has killed himself and like, yo, I'm trying to pull myself together, man. I need some support. You know what I mean? The studio's against me. Everybody's against me, man. You know, I was there for you. Can you please just go out here and help me build momentum for this?
I get that.
And so Henry's a good guy.
Yes.
So he's gonna do something like that. We can't crucify him for tweeting
For the decisions that you make, sure we can.
for tweeting for somebody he knows, trying to help out somebody who helped him out. You don't see. I have to look at it like that.
Henry Cavill was the only person that held out on Restore the Snyderverse. I think still to this day he never tweeted it.
Right.
But he showed up for his maybe he did as a friend. Like, look, I cast you as Superman. Come be in this with me.
Any of my friends lost their
You
daughter.
still gotta think about it business wise. What that makes you look like. Your image is there. Did we not just read the article where Warner Brothers said they didn't want no Henry?
Yes.
So what made them say that? You don't think that they were pissed? I'm just telling you what I know.
But you got to look at the hierarchy. Warner Brothers hired Zach. Zach hired Henry. So it's like the guy who put me on.
Zach hired Gal too. Where's she
Right.
at? Look where she's at with
Patty
her.
snatched her up. There's a
Look-
whole new director, whole new writer, whole new everything. She's safe with Patty. Patty saved her.
She has
Otherwise,
her
if
life,
Patty
she
didn't
has
save her,
protection
if Patty
through
didn't
Patty.
save her,
You're
she'd
making
be
my
in
point
trouble
for
too.
me. You're making my point for me. Other directors had to take these characters to elevate them to where we love them or like them or they're even palatable. Other directors had to do that because people that came out under Zach failed. So who's going to take Superman, Henry Cavill Superman, and what are they going to do? What are their intentions? Is it that director, that writer? What is the script going to be? Are they going to make it more tough like Snyder's? Are you going to call it Man of Steel 2? Will you tie it to the Snyderverse? Will you talk about Man of Steel? Will you talk about Justice League? Will Ben Affleck's Batman be in there for a rematch? What is that movie going to be like? Who's going to be the director? Who's going to write it? They don't know. They know what they want to do, but they don't have the writer director yet. I personally, why shouldn't Patty be the director of the Superman movie? Because she's the #1 fan. Because I believe she needs a clean slate. And Henry already has, it's like a car that's been used as a rental car. A couple people got up in it, reshoots, re-edits, recuts, a lot of drama, and a lot of people have drove in that car already.
Whether he agreed with it as an actor, he put his heart and soul into that picture. So he's going to want any iteration of it to succeed to some degree.
What picture?
Any Superman picture that has his face in it, he's going to want it to do as well as possible, even if he doesn't necessarily agree with the direction that they took. So I think
Henry
him
Cavill is too
making
nice.
a couple fans.
Do you know they
He's
said this
too
was
nice.
I
his-
wouldn't
this
hold
was
that
his
against
dream.
him.
I got to.
Henry Cavill said this was his
Not.
dream job. Ever since he was a little kid, he always wanted to be Superman. So he had an opportunity. So now, when he had the time to finally be Superman,
Yeah.
that was the best thing of his
He
life. Out
botched
of
it.
all the jobs that he had,
And when he
that's
had
the
the-
best job he had in his life.
Finish your statement, my nigga. When he had the chance to finally be Superman, he played the most evilest, trashiest Superman ever.
But the words are on the paper.
He couldn't help that shit.
What you mean?
You got a director and a
He
writer
has to
doing
say
that.
the words in the script that's given to him.
What I learned in film class is that sometimes you're in this tough spot as a director who has an agenda and as the script of words that are on paper. The very best actors and the ones they find a way to give language and tell stories through their acting alone. How you read words is different than reading the words, just reading the words. What your face looks like, how you express, how you emote, all that stuff goes into making actors great. This is why we want Leonardo DiCaprio in every role in every movie, and we don't care what Keenan Ivory Wayans shows up in. You know what I'm saying? There's like levels to this shit, right? And even though, so basically, I believe this to be true as well, just to show you guys that I'm unbiased here. Henry Cavill was a lifelong Superman fan who partaked in destroying the character. That's a fact.
How can an actor take a script and make the character do things that are not in the script or in the scenes? You have to deliver the lines to make them believable. So if you're against the director, you either quit or you do the job right.
Ben Affleck hated the way Snyder
Do you remember
did
when
his
he went?
Batman. He told, I was just watching this shit yesterday. Ben Affleck
I was trying to answer his question, please.
All right.
Do you remember Man of Steel when he went to see the preacher in the church?
Yes.
I invite you, if you could remember it, I invite people to go rewatch it.
I remember that.
That scene in the script, few words, that scene relied heavily on his acting. He could have told a very sympathetic story with how he delivered it. He was like, "What?" The preacher said, "What does your heart tell you?" Zod can't be trusted. But to be honest, I don't think the people of Earth could be trusted either. He could have delivered that with so much more sadness and empathy and being torn inside. His reluctance to even consider being more bold on Zod cannot be trusted. Pause. Feel the rage. Feel the battle and the emotion. And then deliver it heavier. I'm not sure the people of Earth could be trusted either. With more of a weighty element to it.
How you know that Snyder didn't want him to give that type of...
We don't know.
You know?
Yeah, because in
But
film,
I'm sure.
Think about
I'm
it.
not sure the people of it could be trusted
in
either.
film-
It was very just meh.
Think
But
about it.
in
How many cuts that they did were to the point
Yeah, I
where
know.
he could
Cuts
have did it
aside.
that way. He could have did it that way.
Yeah.
And they like, no.
I was
Henry,
just giving him an
we just wanna-
example.
we just
Listen, I was just giving him an example of how an actor could impact what's even written on script and shit like that. You could just you add shit to it. That's you're saying the words, but your body language is telling a totally different story.
right, but the director has final cut while Henry's off at the Bahamas or filming Mission Impossible. Zach is sitting there with the footage, is like, oh no, that's too strong. I don't want that note. I want a softer note here.
Too emotional.
Yeah. Sometimes the direct cutting off. Beat.
That's too
cut,
emotional.
Be more mean, man. Be more stern.
Yep.
Yeah, that could have happened too.
And then when they look at all
Yeah,
three,
yeah.
it's like, nah, use this one.
He
That
hated,
could happen
Zach
too.
hated Superman, bro. You think he wanted to have Superman to have some type of freaking emotion? Look, yeah,
I
just
seen him
don't
in Justice
understand
League.
how,
In Joss's version, and I saw Superman, bro. And Henry Cavill was playing him. I said, look at him.
and we saw different directors who know Superman, who had love
Yes.
for Superman. Zach hated Superman.
Yeah. But
He don't want
why?
Superman to show no type of
I feel
emotion,
you.
no type of heart, no type of love. He didn't care. He wanted him to be evil, directed.
But I
so
want you to
everybody in
understand,
the world, how you feel right now,
you're-
say, I
You're
don't
not
care, fam.
talking like a Henry Cavill fan, though. You sound like me. Most Henry Cavill fans are Snyder fans, dog. You need to understand
I'm
that.
a Henry Cavill fan, but
Wait a minute.
I'm a Superman fan before all that. And Henry Cavill
Got you. But you understand everything that you're calling him dark, emo, trash Superman, the Snyder fans think that's awesome. You got to understand that they want him to come back to be a dark Superman.
But that's because they support Zach. They love what Zach
Who
did.
cast Henry?
Right.
I think they
hear
wanted
you.
layers.
But it's like they wanted Zach.
No, they don't.
It's people.
I sat back, nigga. I sat back for years on my channel fighting against people who were and hearing the comments by the thousands. I've read thousands of them. Superman's finally cool now. He don't get no underwear over his tights. Some of the dumbest shit ever. And a lot of the Superman fans, they didn't want to fight. The toxic Snyder fans were so toxic that the real Superman fans didn't even want to get in there and fight for Superman, bro. Because what would happen? They would get trolled, talked bad about, and a lot of them are just casual. They love Superman as a kid growing up, but then there's this toxic Snyder thing coming out, and people are mean. I'm like, oh, what the freak? This Superman movie? Y'all love the BBS? That's bad. All right, I'm not gonna get in that comment section because I don't want these motherfuckers gonna get it. They're
But
getting
I-
me
I
my
think-
DMs and shit. It's weird. People just stayed silent.
But I feel like a lot of them, some of them didn't even. I think he leaned so hard because people had grown tired of the ultimate Boy Scout, the super do-gooder. The perfect person that can do no wrong, and he's strong, and he's good looking, and he gets the girl. And
Tell
I
no
just
lies.
think that people just wanted to see. I think they felt like that story had been told over and over and over and over, and they wanted to see something with a little more girth.
And how'd that work out?
Well, they found, I don't know why DC would hire somebody that didn't like Superman, but even the DC people said, okay, let's try something new.
I'm looking, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be fun. I want you to understand that I'm glad that Henry Cavill's coming out as Superman. But I'm hearing they're throwing names like Man of Steel around, and that's just them. They don't know. We don't know what this movie's gonna be like. We don't know the writer, the director, or the title. These are the main three things that I'm paying attention to, and you should as well. What are they gonna call the movie? But first thing we're gonna find out is we're probably gonna get the director first. They're probably gonna hire the director first. That's gonna be important. Then the writer, and then the title of the film. That's gonna come later.
So,
But the director and the writer should be able to tell me enough of what they plan on doing with this Henry Cavill version
so
of
they
Superman.
can change the name.
Have
As
we-
Stu as well said of saying Man is Steel 2. They just saying that. It could be a different name. It could
Oh,
be
it's
called
probably
something
going to be a
different.
working title. It might go
that.
through 2 or 3 name changes. See, but what I want to know is, have you read any articles on Zaslav's view on Superman?
Yes, David Zaslav believes that Superman is an iconic character as well as the Trinity. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. He wants to usher them off the shelf, blow the dust off, and bring them to the forefront. He said that himself. The Trinity needs to be focused on.
Right. That's
He's a
it.
classic.
That's the brand.
Classic.
That's the brand of Superman. But
He's a
as
classic
a
guy.
businessman,
Classic.
is he emotionally a classic Superman?
Classic. We're talking about the icon. When you talk about these characters are icons, you're talking about who they have always been.
A lot of people feel in today's climate this is my problem with Hollywood. It's like they want to make the superheroes more realistic, which darkens everybody's costume, like they darkened all the X-Men. And Superman went through that. He went from this bright blue that's on the screen here that Jody's showing to a deeper, darker blue. And that's just symbolic of
Who
the
Superman
darker
is not.
tones and who they wanted to make.
But that's not Superman.
Batman went from gray to black.
That's cool.
You know what I
But
mean?
Superman is not that, bro.
I'm glad
It's just like even they. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, no, my bad.
It's like even Wolverine, they wouldn't put him in the yellow costume.
Right.
It's like, oh, Hollywood wants the money from the superhero. The problem is really Hollywood because they want the money from the superhero movies, but they don't want the colors.
Let's
Like
bring in some
Gambit
people.
has
It's
those
time.
bright
Talk to
purple-
me.
I'm sorry.
That's
It's
exactly
time.
what
We
you
gonna
guys
bring
are
some
gonna
people up
do.
in this motherfucker,
You guys are
bro.
gonna talk to me because I have some bold stuff to say on this show.
Oh shoot, a donut just came through too. Goddamn. And a donut just dropped. Knock Shadow!
Knock, knock.
Thank you very
Knock
much, Knock
Shadow.
Shadow. I appreciate you, my guy. Light up
Even
the
that's
studio.
blue. Even that's more blue than it was.
Shout out to my guy Knock Shadow showing love. Jody's Corner is live every Monday and Friday. Right here on Jody's Corner at 5 o'clock. Join memberships for the access, ladies and gentlemen. That was Knock Shadow.
Knock, knock.
Knock Shadow.
All right, I'm bringing in
So
Jay
far.
Beast, man. What's up with it, Jay Beast?
Hey, we're good. How you doing?
What up?
Knock.
I'm good, bro.
Long time no see. What's
I know,
up?
man. For the recording, let's get right to the fire, bro.
Look at this
Let's do
wave
it.
cap.
Let's do it.
Jody
Dang,
Joe.
Jay Beast, like you losing weight.
Oh no, I've always been this skinny. I'm usually wearing like hoodies and jackets, but
Oh,
it's just
okay.
me in a regular shirt. Yeah.
Liking I'm liking that Tanjiro wave cap.
Okay,
though.
J3. I
Thanks for
mean,
noticing, brother.
JB.
Oh, that's after.
Oh,
Okay,
hey, what's
then.
up, Sadler? How you doing, bro? Hey,
I
no
like
hard
that.
feelings, man.
I like that. I like that Demon Slayer wave cap, fam.
Thank you. Much
Tight.
appreciated. Hey,
Get to it. How
Sadler,
you
let
feel
me
about
just say
everything
this. Oh, okay. I think this is terrific news, bro. Like, this is great. I gotta give it up for The Rock, bro. I think The Rock
Yeah.
is the best thing to happen to DC
Facts.
since Wonder Woman came out. Me personally,
You know what?
He just,
I don't knock
What's
you.
up?
Go ahead. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, he's just making so much stuff happen, bro. Like, we're getting this whole Black Adam origin film with the JSA in it, with Pierce Brosnan playing Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
And he's helping Henry Cavill get back in the role as Superman, which
Facts.
I think is a great idea. You need a Superman, and I mean, he just looks so good, bro. He's like a perfectly casted Superman as far as the look. And I believe with a different director and a different writer, different direction completely, we can get DC back on track. Because you cannot do a Trinity, you cannot do a DC universe, a Justice League without a Superman.
Facts.
Period,
Facts.
That's
Facts.
facts.
So I gotta give it up for The Rock on this, and Zaslav, I'll give him some credit too. Although I think we need a Kevin Feige finally, bro. Like, it's a shame that it's The Rock who's just a big name actor who's like helping this stuff happen. We need a Kevin Feige type executive producer to call these shots. Somebody who's an actual fan of these heroes and a fan of the universe, bro. Like
Facts.
these men in suits ain't doing it for me no more, bro.
Facts.
I'm tired of hearing about Black Superman. I'm tired of hearing about I'm so glad we're past all the Batgirl stuff, bro. I'm so glad we're past all that
Yeah,
because
I'm with you on that.
they've been taking L's on that. But I mean, there's a few things, Jody, I disagree with you on. I disagree with you on the whole, Henry Cavill siding with Snyder, which is why Warner Brothers didn't want him because he appeared in that video. Because I think what Jason Momoa was doing was way worse than what Henry was doing. Jason was out here
Facts.
capping, saying, "Oh, the Snyder cut is real. Oh yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it." Knowing damn well he was looking at archive footage.
Yeah.
But
Facts.
here we
But
go.
the problem
but Jason
was
Momoa
the reason
still
why.
has movies.
Let
What's
me
up?
say the reason why that Jason Momoa got away with everything that he did is because he was a part of $1 billion movie.
Exactly.
Him being in $1 billion movie is what made him indispensable.
The first $1 billion movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely,
So
bro.
that helped him a lot. Had he not had
does.
that $1 billion movie, he'd have been out of here.
'Cause he's the first.
Sure,
Right?
that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
And the very same thing can happen to Henry Cavill because he has the biggest character. Like we saw what happened with Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. We saw what happened
You think
with
Henry Cavill will get $1 billion movie after Man of Steel 2 and Justice League and BVS?
bro. I think you're downplaying all the people that love Henry Cavill. Like I think you're trying to condense it to just mainly Snyder fans. It is a lot of people like me, other people. Like there's so many Henry Cavill fans, bro.
Where were they in 2013 when Man of Steel only made $668 million? Where were they in 2000? Where were they in 2015 when BVS only made $800 million? Where were they when Zack Snyder's Justice League only made $650 million?
BVS was a bad movie. A lot of critics took a dump on it. It tainted the box office.
So
we all know.
why are you saying that a Henry Cavill Superman movie could easily make $1 billion because everybody wants him?
Because who the freak was checking for Aquaman, bro? Who was checking for a Jason Momoa Aquaman before the movie came out, bro?
You gotta understand.
Like, do we
Joe,
remember
that
what it
movie
was
made
like
$1
before
billion.
2018, bro?
That movie only made $1 billion because of the continent of China. You need to understand that.
Bro, it made $1
Domestically,
billion.
that movie didn't make that much. Wonder Woman.
It made good. Hold on. Domestically, it made
Wonder Woman
good, just like
outperformed Aquaman domestically,
Yes.
bro.
Yes, it did. Aquaman
Yes.
made like 360 domestic, which is good. That's like
That is
what
good.
common average superhero movies make. All those MCU movies that make bank, they make them out the same that Aquaman did, bro.
But they
300
made
mil is like
800
the average for a superhero movie in North America. So did Joker. Joker did the same thing. Joker made like 300 some million in the US and it still made $1 billion.
That it made a lot of its money. It made $300 million in China alone.
Wait, what movie did?
Aquaman.
Yes. It was popular.
That's not
so
overseas.
There's a lot of MCU movies, bro.
No, Jay. All right. Well, all right. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Bro,
I'm talking about China alone, my brother.
Yes.
Not
Very
UK, important. Not India. Just in China, $300 million.
Yes, it was insanely popular in the region of China. Absolutely. What I'm saying is we could not have predicted that was going to happen, bro. Even when we knew that James Wan was going to direct the movie, nobody threw out $1 billion projections for Aquaman before the movie came out. That is the point I'm making, is that you give Henry Cavill the right director, the right type of story, new direction, the very same thing very well. Same with
Hold on,
Wonder Woman.
JB. I got to bring the facts out. I got to bring the facts out and kill
What's
you,
up, bro?
okay?
What's good?
The last live action movie, right here. This is actually from the Insider. You can look it up. How much do you think? How much do you think BVS made in China?
All right, yeah. Let me take a guess at this. It made 300 something in the US. It made 800 worldwide. So I'll say I'll give it like 150 in China.
It made $95 million in China.
Oh goddamn!
This is what you're failing to understand how important China was to Aquaman, brother.
Yeah, I understand.
Aquaman made 3 times as much as BVS in China.
Yes,
James Wan being tied to that movie helped that movie.
Why are you putting it on James Wan, bro? Why are you not putting it on the movie itself, dog?
Oh, I know what you're talking
So what about all the other? So then, what about all the other superhero movies that make 300 some million in China, and James Wan ain't directing it? What you got for Avengers movies and other Marvel movies that make 300 million in China?
So I'm gonna say this to be 100% honest. I'm not gonna be PC here. movies that tend to have Chinese actors in them get marketed heavily in China, and they make a lot of money
Right. Shout out to Shang-Chi, not even being played in China. What's up?
because of the mystical elements of the film.
Did it make $1 billion?
Right.
But Chinese movies who have, this is why a lot of people cast Asian characters in movies and market them heavy in those markets
Yeah.
because they perform well in those markets.
Sure.
James Wan, being very popular in China, marketed that movie heavily in China, and therefore a lot of people got behind it. And the Chinese demographic, they respect directors, I would say arguably as much, even more than we do here.
Right.
Directors are stars out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no doubt.
it's a big different culture. So it's not, I'll double down. James Wan as a Chinese person is a big lightning rod for why Aquaman did so well in China. I mean, you look at Aquaman tripling BVS in China, that should tell you something. Aquaman's not Chinese, bro. Jason Momoa's not Chinese. Why
Neither
did
the
do so with-
Avengers, neither the Avengers, a lot of MCU characters, they make that same money over there. That's all I'm saying.
No,
Like,
you can't. So
you
we're
can't give the
comparing
Chinese benefit of the doubt.
Avengers. We're comparing Avengers to Aquaman now. Is that what we're doing?
Why not? Did
One-
nobody give a
one
freak about the
company
Avengers
earned
before
it.
they started popping?
One company earned it, and the other one did not. Out of nowhere, Aquaman made bank. Come on.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
What about
So,
the first Avengers movie though?
The first Avengers movie? What?
Yeah, 2012.
What does earned it mean?
Avengers made
What he's saying,
$1.5
what
billion.
Jody's saying is the MCU earned their credit with these heroes in the movies, which is why their movies make bank. That's what he mean by earned it.
Yeah.
Isn't
correct.
aren't all DC characters more globally popular than these Marvel characters?
Yep.
Not in film,
Yes.
outside
No,
of
no,
film.
no. Marvel in movies? No, it's Marvel right now.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
talking
Marvel.
about
It's
movies.
Marvel.
I'm talking about a 30, 40-year tradition of DC building up the Super Justice League, superheroes, Super Friends. Aren't they globally known more than like
Avengers?
X-Men and shit like that? Yeah, like this
I would
is
say
more-
Batman. I would say the Trinity.
The seven. It's real 7. Yeah.
This is a tough one. Oh, wow. Age of Ultron made... Oh, okay. So, let me see.
Aquaman hasn't
I
been
was trying to look it
popular.
up myself. I was trying to look up the movies myself, Jody.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. Aquaman might not have been popular, but he was known. Do you think Captain America in China is going to get promoted as heavily as his name is Captain America or
Well,
Wolverine?
with Jody's logic, he's saying you get an Asian director behind it, then it should. That's his logic.
Do people follow directors like that? Is he the Spike Lee of China?
Who did the Joker though? Because the Joker made $1 billion too. I don't see how, but that's
Todd Phillips, and it wasn't even played in China, by the way. Man, it wasn't even played in China.
So
Because DC characters, I believe, like these movies made Iron Man more popular, but these characters were always second tier to
DC.
DC.
Yeah, the
characters.
DC characters was always
All right,
higher
so
than the Marvel characters.
I don't have full total life-to-date numbers, but 3 weeks, it made $200 million in China.
In China? In 3 weeks?
Age of Ultron. So,
right.
my brother...
Yeah.
It looks like
I'm
Aquaman and Age of Ultron is going to be probably making the same amount in China. How does that sound?
That's wild.
Yeah,
We'll research
goes
that
to the
later.
point.
This just solidifies my point.
It more so solidifies my point is that Age of Ultron ain't got nothing to do with no Chinese director, no Asian actors, and it's still making that guap. That's what I'm saying. Is you
It
can't
makes
just
guap,
tie-
JB's, because of its brand. It's more beloved worldwide. What do you mean?
Exactly. Yes, I'm going the brand route. Is if you boost Henry Cavill Superman could get on that level, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Are you telling me that Henry Cavill Superman has good brand recognition over the last 8 years in DC?
No.
Lie to
Good
me,
brand recognition.
please.
I think when people think Superman in film these days, they will think Henry Cavill. Everybody, bro.
No. I said
Everybody on Twitter
positive.
right now.
I said positive. When you think of Henry Cavill and people see him in that suit, do most people, including diehard fans, who are the small percentage, the largest percentage being general audiences and critics alike, do you
Right.
think that Henry Cavill in a Superman suit has positive brand recognition more than negative?
Yeah, I do think more than positive more than negative. Yes,
I
I do.
disagree
I believe that.
entirely. I disagree
understand.
100%. 100%
That's
disagree.
fine. That's fine. You really trying to get into that Warner Brothers job. I understand, bro. You
No,
gotta
if
defend your boys, bro.
Nope. If you look at box office receipts,
Right.
they're telling you that you're wrong. You're going
Well, Man, it
against
still
those.
wasn't. Well, Man, it still wasn't that bad, bro. 660 million. That's
Yeah.
not that bad, bro. It's pretty good.
It's not a billion either, though. It's not be
It's not a
beloved.
billion.
You
It's the first movie. It's not
you
a billion. It's the
you
first
said it's
movie.
beloved. The second movie, BVS, how'd that do? Did it make a billion? Did it make 900 million?
I already addressed that like 10 minutes ago, bro. I
Right.
already addressed that.
So we have Henry Cavill has never been a part of $1 billion movie, but you're saying that he is $1 billion guy.
Hey, neither is Wonder Woman. What's up, bro? You
Wait a
think that?
minute.
Hey, you remember, what's up?
It's a difference. Henry
Right.
Cavill was in 1, 2. He started the DC universe with BVS and Man of Steel,
Yeah.
and was in 2 Justice League movies.
Mm-hmm.
Justice League movies.
Well, we talking about BVS. That kind of counts.
Yeah. He has been in the game longer than anybody outside. Yeah, he was been in the game even longer than Ben Affleck. He was the first Snyder guy.
He's the first one. Yeah, 2013.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man of Steel,
Yeah,
Man of
2013
Steel.
Man of
Yes.
Steel. He was the first Snyder guy. So
Yeah, Man of Steel.
shouldn't he have the most brand recognition and positivity?
But we know why he doesn't, though.
Wait a minute, I'm you know why? I don't think Jay Beast knows why though.
Oh yeah. I know why. Yeah, cause Snyder. I get it.
Wait a minute. Are you admitting that Henry Cavill, who's been here the longest, isn't viewed positively the most by the audiences?
Well, not right now because he hasn't got his second movie yet. But if he gets that second movie opportunity like Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa did, then yes, he could be on that level.
How many people in the Snyderverse would you put above Henry Cavill as brand recognition, as far as brand recognition concerns itself?
Wait, say that again. Sorry, rephrase that again.
Who do you put above Henry Cavill as far as stock at DC worldwide about how the fans receive them?
Got you. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Stop.
Aquaman, obviously.
Honestly, yeah, definitely Aquaman. I would say him and Ben Affleck are kind of neck and neck.
I think Ben Affleck's above him, bro.
I think Ben Affleck is slightly above him. I would say so. Yeah,
So I would agree with you on fourth.
yeah,
Henry
yeah. I'm
Cavill is-
good with fourth. Absolutely, I'm good with fourth.
All right, Henry Cavill is
And it's very
fourth.
positive. And it's very positive too. It's a positive fourth.
All right, so here we are. Now I'm hitting you with the numbers real quick.
Yeah,
You brought up Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman 84. We don't know how that thing would have did because it didn't ever come in theaters. Wonder Woman 1 came out in 2017 and made $820 million. That was her
Yeah.
first movie.
yeah.
That made $200 million more than Henry Cavill's Superman movie.
Yes, it did.
Better director, better writer.
Whoa,
It was a better
whoa,
film, dog.
Whoa.
Better film.
Whoa. A lot of people would disagree with you. A lot of men, especially
Oh,
Men of
about to be
Steel
a better
fans.
film.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Better
yeah, absolutely.
director, better
But
director.
I mean, let's go off of. Hold on.
But it doesn't
Hold on,
change.
let's-
It doesn't change the fact that we were talking about stock, talking about shots. You're talking about how high Henry Cavill is, and how he could make $1 billion. But
Right, but you also brought up a different rubric of critic reception and fans overall. You did bring that up with like critical reception. I remember that when you were talking about like BVS and all that. So the
Yeah.
same would apply to Wonder Woman. She
Yeah.
got very good critical reception, very good buzz around the movie, and it was just a better movie. So I don't see why it shouldn't have made more money.
that's Wonder Woman who hasn't been ever on film, ever, outperforming Superman. That's not normal, bro.
Yeah. No, it is not. No, it is not, bro. Honestly, it's not.
So knowing that, JB's, what does
Yeah.
that say about Henry Cavill stock as Superman? It's not as high as you say, bro.
It's fourth, but it's very, bro. So many people are hyped right now off of this announcement. You realize he ain't had a movie since 2013, and people have been asking for it ever since, dog.
So tell me,
Like I've never seen nobody ask for one actor to come back for a
Badly.
movie in
Badly.
DC this much, bro.
Yeah, and nobody, everybody sees him as Superman. Even though we know
y'all
we can see
have
Christopher
no idea what y'all
We can
asking
see
for.
Christopher Reeves,
Y'all
but
have no
the
idea
biggest
what's
person
going
that we
on.
see
Oh,
now.
God.
I know exactly what
in
I'm
the
asking
world.
for. You want to know what I want?
I know what you want, JB's, because you want
What do I want? What do I want?
You want what I want. You want Superman to be have respect and be that guy. You know, I understand.
Yes, and it's not even past the want. It's a need, dog. So you gotta let this happen.
Do you know who's gonna claim a victory lap when he comes back? It ain't you or me, homie.
Snyder.
You know exactly. But you know what though? Listen, if it's not called Man of Steel 2, like we both agree on, and they get a different director, different direction, then there's not gonna be much that they can say. like let's say hypothetically, let's say like Chloe Zhao, right? What if Chloe Zhao got the job for second Superman movie? Seeing what she did with Eternals, and she kind of put that little spin on Henry Cavill. I think that'd be amazing, bro.
Yeah,
And if you kind of soft reboot, kind of retcon the Man of Steel stuff, don't even make it a direct sequel, have it completely different. I think
if you do Superman right, there's no reason it shouldn't make $1 billion.
Exactly. So the Snyder fans gonna be happy because they're getting Henry back. We're gonna be happy because we have a proper Superman. It's a win-win across the board. I don't see not one negative about this.
I mean, you glossed right over it.
If
Superman comes out and he's good in a Boy Scout, the Snyder fans are going to destroy him.
Yeah, and how many times have you said on this panel that you said the Snyder fan is a small percentage, because you always want to talk about HBO Max Justice League numbers.
Yes.
You said it yourself. That is a very small percentage compared to the masses and the real DC fans, bro.
JBs, where are you getting this buzz that most of the people want Henry Cavill Superman? It's artificially fortified by the Snyder cult. They're on Twitter, Instagram, bots. That's where that come from. Regular motherfuckers ain't talking about Henry Cavill like that. They're not.
Well, regular mother freakers ain't seen him in a movie.
That's
like
social media,
live action movie.
Social media is fake. Those are bots and a lot of fans doing that shit, bro. That stock you say everybody wants Henry Cavill Superman.
I didn't say everybody. I didn't say everybody. Oh, I said a lot of people. I didn't say everybody.
Not even most. Not even half.
Bro, all it takes is some cameos and appearances, and we're good, bro. Because that'll appease the quote-unquote regular people that you're talking about, the people that aren't on Twitter, the regular people that don't keep up with film news. If he starts showing up in movies and making cameos, and then they announce a comeback movie, then we're good.
It sounds like you're down with this Flashpoint situation that I've been preaching this whole time, because you're assuming that Henry Cavill's going to be good, like a good Superman.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
All right, so then that means that, Flashpoint switching up is not a problem. You're down with Flashpoint then, because that's what Flashpoint is.
Yes. Yes, I've always been down with that. Absolutely.
Right. E-Man, what you got?
I mean, as you guys were saying, I mean, about Henry Cavill's stock is you feel like that is low, but I feel like his stock will grow even more. I feel like because he haven't had the opportunity to fully show people who he can truly be, his stock is low. But I feel like when he have the opportunity finally to get the right director, the right writer who believes in him, who really understand the story and what they're trying to do, his stock is going to grow completely. You know what I mean?
If Henry Cavill is the right traditional Superman, his stock will grow. He will perform. But what I fear and what we're not acknowledging is out there is that he's tied to a very dark place. But you keep saying that. Gal is tied to that. Even though Patty took her, Gal was tied to that. No,
Jason is tied to that. We're getting a flashpoint.
It is not the same.
We're getting a flashpoint.
Patty came out and verbally made an announcement to the world that Zack's Wonder Woman was wrong. And Gal did it too. But then her Wonder Woman movie was totally different than the freaking how she was in Zack
only
Snyder.
like 5% of us moviegoers even care about that stuff.
And that's the same people that care about Superman. So they don't give a shit.
Patty said this, Patty said that. The average moviegoer doesn't care, doesn't even read that type of shit. Like JB said.
But they read Henry Cavill's Superman and they want to see and follow him.
They look at him and see
what do they see?
Embodies what the character is supposed to look like.
How do you know that?
He's the
because I got 2 eyes.
If that was true, wouldn't the money be there? Bullshit.
Not necessarily. You have previews.
Aquaman made $1 billion, bro. Aquaman, Jason Momoa, nigga don't look nothing like Aquaman. He made $1 billion, but Henry Cavill can't scratch 900. In a BVS movie with Ben Affleck in it.
If
audiences hate BVS, let me tell you the truth. Real people, general audiences, hate the way that looks. They don't like Henry Cavill in that suit. They see that and they think BVS.
They're gonna come with a new suit. I've never seen a movie make the same suit twice.
God, niggas showed up to Justice League and they only made $600 million. I never thought in a day in my life that people would only $650 million for Justice League.
If Chris Pratt played
Ant-Man made more than Justice League.
It would have made more than $1 billion. If Chris Pratt, who looked like Aquaman, was Aquaman, it would have made even more than $1 billion with James Wan or without him.
Bullshit.
Green Lantern.
Bullshit.
Hey Jody, Christian Black is in here, man.
A blonde-haired Aquaman
I'm not ready for him just yet.
that looked the part with Thor. The dude that
Oh, yeah,
played
yeah,
Thor
yeah, man.
played Aquaman
Yeah.
in traditional sense.
That's
I think
incredibly
we even
crazy.
did more
Chris
than
Hemsworth?
Y'all
You
crazy.
said
Aquaman
Chris
did.
Hemsworth?
Yeah,
What?
that's what I'm
Aquaman
talking
did
about,
that,
yeah.
bro, because
without
of,
looking like Aquaman.
Aquaman did that because not only, and I'm not trying to take enough from James Wan, he's a good director. He did a great job with Aquaman. But he also sold the shit out of that in China. It made $300 million in China. 3 times as much as BVS, bro.
And that also comes down to press junkets, how much time you spend there, the government getting behind him. Of course.
Hey, can you tell me
He's
this?
a Chinese director. It should do well in
If you
China.
go watch Fast and the Furious in China, that motherfucker's, the Chinaman's face gonna be bigger than Tyrese and Ludacris.
Can you tell
Why
me?
do
That's
they
a
do that?
fact. That's a fact. Have y'all seen what they did with the Black Panther posters? The first movie,
You feel
they
me?
put the mask on all the posters, bro.
Put that
That's
niggas
facts.
down. When you take
That
a
is so facts.
ensemble crew to China and you promote it, them niggas disappear and they get small at the bottom.
What
But if
does
there's
it
an
have
Asian,
to do with
but
Henry Cavill?
I thought we were talking about Aquaman. You brought up Aquaman.
Yeah,
And I told you that it made money because James Wan was tied to it.
not because
You
it was
said,
a good movie.
you said,
You only talking about
you
300
said
million
Chris
though.
Pratt.
There
You-
was another 700 million that's
nigga,
unaccounted for.
you said the blasphemy that Chris Pratt would have took Aquaman past the billion. You
I'm
said
saying
that.
because he looked the part.
That don't mean, that's not why the movie made the money, bro.
I
People
don't
want
know
to
about
see the
that.
cartoons. People want to see the cartoons in real life versions. Chris, this dude looks like Superman. He
That's not
looks-
enough.
It's like
That's not enough,
it's
bro.
Like, it's like we talk about.
I saw Ben Affleck put that suit on and look like a comic book. Niggas
Yeah,
didn't like that
that's
movie.
whew.
I
DC
don't
got the
know.
suits on lock always.
DC suits are the best. I don't know if you
Always.
could look at that Ben Affleck Batman and not see like the greatest Batman in real life you've ever seen. That costume was just insane.
Fuego.
And nobody, and most of the general public that you say don't pay attention hated that movie. Because the
Yup.
general public doesn't go to forums and Twitter and say how much they didn't like a movie or have a YouTube channel like me. The general
That's
public
facts.
will go watch a movie, say this sucks, and tell their friends that it sucks and never talk about it
Right,
again.
but only 10% are
Yep,
going to be
and I
like,
worked at a
oh,
movie
Patty
theater. That's
Jenkins,
the conversation
Patty
they have.
Jenkins
That is so
doesn't
true.
agree with Superman, so I'm not going to go.
No.
So let's go see Wonder Woman because
No,
Patty
not that.
Jenkins didn't
Not
agree.
that. It's what they see with their eyes. When they went and saw Wonder Woman, they saw something totally different than the Snyderverse.
mean-
and they loved it.
Right, but your quote was Patty spoke out against it, so that's why they did the movie perform better.
No. What the freak? You made that up.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, a lot of shit that you're hearing is not what I'm actually saying, though.
He's talking about when you said that Patty said that Zach
Yes,
did Wonder Woman wrong.
I know, because you compared Patty taking Wonder Woman to how Zack with Superman is different. It was done professionally with how Patty took Wonder Woman into her own and made it her own. This thing with Henry Cavill back and forth, in and out, he had U.S. Men's Health magazine where he said he demonized Snyder Superman, saying he wanted to do something totally different. He didn't like
Men of Tomorrow.
the decision of
He wanted Men
BVS.
of Tomorrow.
He publicly came out and said he didn't like BVS himself. And then a few months later, motherfucker shows up, released the cut. These are signals that are not lining up. So we don't know where you're at. I know Henry's a good guy. He probably just wants to land on the right side. But these mixed signals cost you. Like people
understand-
remember this
But
shit.
you understand that Patty is Zach's peer. She is in competition for the same job as Zach.
Okay.
She can say what she wants. Henry is Zach's subordinate, his employee. He can say what he wants when he thinks it's over.
can fire
but when
him.
there is $10 billion, Zach didn't get all that money that everybody put in. Henry has to get an additional check too for a re-release for the same work he already did. He had to get paid again. So in order, and he can speak out against it once it's over, but oh no, it's ramping up again. Like I go back to what I said earlier. Anytime an actor works on something, you don't want something you've done to fail. No matter how bad it is, you don't want it to fail. Once he realized it was coming back, he has to do press junkets to help it do the best it could possibly do. That's when you become backstore conversations. You're not in Men's Health telling them, I hate this. You're in your living room telling your wife, your girlfriend, your personal friends.
that's exactly what he
you
did,
have
though.
to be a professional.
That's exactly what he did in Men's Health. He said it. He said he didn't like it.
Did you know Zach wanted like Ben Affleck's Batman to be bankrupt, old, beat up, and all that? Ben told Zach that he's gonna make Batman a little bit better by working out and being like that. He's not gonna make him beat up. He'll be beat up, but he'll still be in shape. You know what I'm saying? He'll still be doing that.
Yeah.
Zach didn't want that. He's like he's a crazy guy. He got skills or whatever. He's already seasoned. Zach wanted Batman, basically Batman Superman bullshit, where Batman is an old man. He ruined that shit. You know what I'm saying? Made him a killer and all that. Fans didn't like that shit because people know who Batman is.
Batman is old and hushed though.
Huh?
All right, Christian Black, speak on it. How you feeling, bro?
Yo, what's up? What's up, E-Man? Sad,
What up,
Jody.
bro?
What's up? So I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with you. I agree with you to a degree, Jody. Aquaman was not that good. The only reason why it was good was because of China. China was the only thing to save that movie. Other than that, that movie would be right where BVS is. I think I actually am excited for Henry Cavill to be
Me too.
Superman. Because I feel like and this is where I agree with you. I think Henry Cavill was too nice. He was trying to play the middle when he should have picked the side.
Correct.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
he was towing, and like Sad said, he was towing the line between the person that got him, between the guy that put him on, and how he really felt.
Yep.
Mhm.
And because he was trying to toe that line, Warner Brothers was like, nah.
Yep.
Because quite frankly, in my opinion, they should have, like, Jason Momoa should be recast.
Right.
There's no way he should say the stuff that he said about the Snyder Cut and blatantly lie, and then just still
he's tied to $1 billion franchise, so it's too late.
Right, but that's what
If it was me,
me too.
Yeah,
I would have asked him. But the fact that he is tied to $1 billion franchise, and and said that stuff, that saved him. Gal got saved by Patty. Because I'm pretty sure Patty was like, "Hey, yo, Patty." Patty told Gal, "Shut your mouth, and just stay over here with me and play on this side of the fence.
I got your back, girl. Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it."
But they did their own thing,
right? But I think, me personally, I'm not really too excited about Man of Steel 2. And the reason why I'm not excited is because honestly, Superman is not an interesting character to me. I have yet to see somebody make Superman interesting. They either did one or two things. Either went far right with Superman by making him too perfect, or far left, which is what Snyder did. And I have not yet saw a Superman that made me care. A Superman that was like, okay, you're not perfect, but you are. I know that you're powerful, but show me that you have problems that is hard to solve. Like a perfect example of that is, I think the name of the comic book is Man of Tomorrow, where he realized. Yeah, where he realizes, like, dang, like, humans die of cancer. Like, that's a real thing. Humans die of cancer. I'm trying to solve cancer, and I can't do it. I'm trying to help people and do all of this stuff, stop war and things like that. But every time I try to stop war, humanity push against me. That was that whole comic book storyline. That's what that was about.
These are common themes that he deals with a lot, though. It's just there hasn't been enough movies to explore.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I that's what I want to see. I don't want to see another Superman movie that revolves around Lex Luthor. I am so sick of Lex. Like, do you agree with
Jay Beast? Like, what do you feel about Henry Cavill as Superman's brand recognition? Positive or negative when they see him in the suit?
I think it's positive. And the reason why I say that is because these same people said the same thing about him when they announced him being the Witcher. When they announced the Witcher series, everybody said the person that should play him, Henry Cavill. They said no. They said no one else. These also were the same fans that when they announced the Illuminati for Doctor Strange 2 was like John Krasinski should be Mr. Fantastic. Nobody else. That was these are the same people that was like, yo, he was John Krasinski, born to play Mr. Fantastic. Henry Cavill, born to play Superman. And I forgot what his name is on The Witcher, so forgive me for that. But
and The Rock himself wants Henry Cavill back, so you know
and
that solidifies it for me, bro.
And even the same
biggest actor in the world.
He got that.
He's one of that for a long time though. And it's
but I would say The Rock is the same way, because when they announced years ago about them thinking to do a Black Adam movie, nobody said any name except The Rock. Nobody said no name. Like, people was trying to throw stuff out there. It's like, no, it's The Rock. He was born to play Black Adam. So I think it's the same thing with Henry Cavill. Like he was born to play that role, and I think he just got.
Where have you seen him play? Where have you seen him be Superman?
Oh man, look at him, bro.
Where,
Look how crispy that looks.
where
I
have,
don't, I
where
don't,
has he,
I don't
where has
acknowledge
he
that
been?
as a Superman movie.
What, but
Hey,
I
the
think
suit was fire though.
But Jody, I think that's
These
to your point,
loopholes,
Jody.
y'all.
I think
There's
that's
only.
the
No, yeah,
I'm
problem.
gonna tell
Jody, I
you.
agree
There's
with you.
only
Not a
one.
good
There's
Superman
only.
movie.
There's
Not a
only
good Superman movie. I agree.
There's only one time where I seen Henry Cavill be Superman, and that was in Joss Whedon's edit of the Zack
I agree.
Snyder
I would
Justice League.
agree.
I agree
I
with you
would
on that.
agree,
That's
but
all the more reason why we should get him back because he's capable, man.
Right,
And he look good in the new suit.
And I understand that I have to be. There has to be. We got to be careful here, though. I feel like we're fanning out too hard.
I don't know, Jody. I share your worries. I don't want them to call it Man of Steel 2, and I don't want them to keep continuity that much with
Yes.
Snyder's plans. I don't want that. I want them to
Yes.
go completely new direction.
Do you
That's
fear
why
that?
I'm on board with
Do
it.
you fear that though?
I mean, but look like
Yeah,
this though.
that's fair, and that's fair. Understand?
That's where I'm at.
You've always
But I'm
wanted,
gonna be-
you've always wanted a Superman, you know, and it's like they took Superman away because of this shit. We talked about it last time when we did fucking Batman with Robert Pattinson, and now we're getting a Superman.
I had to watch, bro. Listen, I had to watch Superman get destroyed before my very eyes twice, dog. That shit is not cool. I've been through damage, bro.
Hey,
Like,
you got a little-
I have fond memories of going to see Man of Steel and not feeling right. I have fond memories of getting my shit wrecked in BVS,
got a
bro.
little PTSD.
Same.
That shit ain't
Same
cool.
here.
That shit hit me to my core, bro. And I've seen
Nope.
the face of Henry Cavill when he did it.
So look,
You got a
I
little
like,
PTSD?
I like Christopher.
Yeah.
I like Christopher Reeves. I like Christopher Reeves Superman, but actual actual moviegoers think Christopher Reeves Superman is boring.
That's not true.
They think it's
I don't know about that.
fallacy.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that,
It's
E-Man.
boring.
I don't know.
I would
They
agree.
see, as you said,
Yeah, I
like,
don't know
they
about
see-
that.
boring.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Man
they
of
think he's
Steel. Man
boring.
of Steel is not a good Superman movie at all. But that fight that he had when he was fighting Zod, sucking the hell out of him in the air, everybody went nuts.
Yes,
Nobody
I
has
agree
never
with you,
seen
E-Man.
A lot of people
at
did. A
all.
lot of people did.
I agree
And
with
that's
you,
why
man.
Zack Snyder got a lot of fans, bro. All freaking flash and no substance. Action junkie. That's who you are. And that's who a lot of them are, bro. These
That's why I want
superheroes are
Chloe
not
Zhao.
about the action, bro. Black Adam's going to have a hard time unless he figures out who he is. And I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
But The Rock looks like Black Adam, talk like Black Adam, got the power. But unless you body a character and make it your own, you're shit out of luck.
I'm actually concerned about Black Adam because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think The Rock is just gonna be The Rock, and I'm tired of that.
I'll
And
give him benefit of the doubt. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll give him benefit
Yeah,
of the doubt.
I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt, but I think
That's fair.
To your point, Jody, like I agree with E-Man. Like people look at Christopher Reeve Superman, and I'm sorry, they like he's too perfect. Like that's the problem with Superman. There's a
The
reason
people
why,
who call Superman too perfect are not Superman fans, though.
Facts.
I would agree.
Usually,
with
their
agree.
haters are contrarians.
Well, no, I would
Hey, Christian Black, are you a fan of Chris Evans, Captain America in the MCU?
Okay, let me make
That's a
sure I
hard
understand
no.
what you're saying. So no, so are you saying his portrayal of Captain America or Captain America as a character?
Really both, honestly. You can
Okay.
do
Captain
both.
America in the MCU.
In general,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay, just if it's Captain America MCU, I actually
Yeah.
do like Captain America MCU.
Okay.
That
You
means you
like
like
his character?
Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying.
That's
like
Superman.
That means that's
Right.
Superman.
That's Superman.
my favorite
That's
MCU
facts.
movie is still Winter Soldier because
Me too, dog. Me too.
that movie made me actually like Captain
Chris,
America.
you like Superman without even knowing that you like Superman.
Exactly,
I really-
man.
I
Can't like
honestly-
Cap without
I
Superman.
really don't because again he's too perfect. He's too perfect of a
See,
character.
Christian, you don't know who Superman is, bro.
I do like.
No, you're not really.
One of my.
I'm not trying
one
to,
of my-
but not really. You
Cap-
don't.
Cap
you know,
wasn't-
if you knew who he was, then you would know Captain America ain't shit but a clone of who Superman
Cap
really
wasn't
is.
born perfect.
Well, really,
though.
like none of the powers.
Let me tell you,
listen,
Captain America in the comic books that I've read, he's not the same as the MCU Cap.
That's true.
That he
Yeah,
he has a very Superman flavor on top of him, bro. And Kevin
yeah.
Feige, a Superman fan, was responsible for that.
Well,
Cap.
yeah, they changed Cap after Winter Soldier. Even in the comic books, they changed Cap. But for me, like I don't know, like it's just like there are very few times, and I'll admit because I keep up with the comic books even now. There are very few Superman stories that I genuinely enjoy. Like where I read it and I'm like, oh, I really like this story. A perfect example of a story that I really liked, Superman that was out within the last 5 years was when Jor-El came back. When they brought Jor-El back.
Are you a Marvel or a DC fan?
DC. Like
so that you understand, DC represents godplexes. Marvel's about humans who look up.
And
DC
that's why I
makes
prefer
heroes.
DC.
Yes.
That's why I prefer DC. Give me the God
DC makes deity,
Yes.
godly type of superheroes.
Yeah.
Right.
And Marvel is in the ground, regular, gutter, human, flawed, broke, demonized, can't get a girl, have everyday problems, quote unquote, relatable. They call it relatable, but this is what Marvel targets, bro. So it's really a temperament almost.
You can't see how people would find Superman vanilla. Like, he was born perfect. He was. You say we're not
so
a fan.
far from perfect.
He was born perfect.
That's a lie.
Cap.
Yeah, he wasn't born perfect. No.
Cap was what, 18? He wasn't born perfect.
No, he's not perfect.
On this planet, has he been perfect ever since he passed the sun?
No.
Hey, let's keep it a buck.
Yes.
Superman had it growing up way harder than Captain America did, bro. Steve Rogers just got lucky to get that serum and become a perfect soldier. But Superman being raised on Kansas and having to not be who he is and having to be a normal person, getting bullied, going through like regular stuff, he wasn't able to embrace who he was until he got older, bro.
And you can't identify with that.
Y'all can identify with that more than Cap.
You can identify with having power. I think a lot of you niggas
can't do nothing with it. That's
fans.
tough.
A lot of these Spider-Man fans say with great power comes great responsibility. And they love that. They eat that up. That came from Superman.
How does Marvel?
No.
You say Marvel?
No.
How does
Spider-Man came from Superman, homie?
How does Marvel out
No,
Superman
that's
DC
not where-
then?
You want me to? I
If
can
y'all
show you a
claiming-
clip of Stan Lee saying it. Would that be enough for you?
Shoot.
If Captain America is only a Superman clone, how does Marvel out Superman DC?
I'm sorry.
How did Marvel out duper? They
made better movies and they wrote a character that people would love. Who wouldn't love to be? I'm not trying to make this shit religious, but there's a lot of people that love Jesus, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, amen, brother. Preach.
So then why is it that people have problems with Superman and they always tie him to, he's a Jesus?
Yeah, they do.
What the freak?
That's weird to me.
How weird is that?
I don't know.
Weird.
Okay, so
That's
I can
weird.
answer that. I can answer
understand
that. I can answer that, and it's because of the fact of like when a lot of writers get to Superman, again, they go too far right with the character. They make it so that every problem that he has is solvable with just him punching through somebody. Like, that's not like Jody. If every problem that the character had, they could just literally punch their way out the
That's
situation.
not true, though. You're making stuff up.
No,
I don't know
but
about that one. I know a lot of writers don't
Superman
know
has
how to-
had so many stories where punching was not the answer.
Most
He gave up
Facts.
his power.
will
No,
never-
no,
If you
no,
watch,
no.
the Superman cartoon and then leading into the Justice League cartoons, bro, it's the complete opposite. Him punching his way out of it made it worse.
I'm talking about modern stories. I'm talking
Superman
about modern
gave up
stories.
his powers
Within the
for
last
Lois.
Right, but I'm talking about modern stories within the last 10 years. And they have rebooted that character 3 times within the last 10 years. Within the last 10 years, every problem he's gotten, he solved it by punching through something. Every major event DC had, they literally had to shelf him because he literally tried to punch. His only solution was, all right, let me punch hard. That'll get us out the situation.
That's more
Justice
like Batman.
League.
That's
Let
Batman more than Superman, bro. That's kind of like
Batman
Bat-
uses
no,
his
Bat-
mind.
No, definitely not Batman.
When you had that's not Batman Eve. Batman literally almost ended the entire multiverse because he thought too hard. Like his every fear, there was a comic book event where this dude, every fear Batman has ever had, created an entire dark multiverse, and all those characters from Batman's fears came into the real world and literally ended everything. The Batman problem is he think too much.
The reason
I think the God complex with Superman is because a lot of comic book artists have drawn him in the crucifix position. You've never seen Cap in that type of position where he's landing like this and all that kind of stuff.
You want your hero to be like you. I don't.
Same, Jody. I'm with you on that.
That's the whole point of being a superhero.
I agree with that.
The shit, y'all weird.
Yeah.
Listen,
But
y'all
you-
not weird for liking a flawed, freaking everyday motherfucker that's just like you to be a
Every
hero.
Joe.
That's cool.
Where's
but for
the
me,
challenge?
I need inspiration from my heroes. I want to get a tingly body when I see them do epic things.
I agree with
No
that.
Things
doubt,
that
no
I
doubt.
cannot do. I
No
do
doubt.
not watch superheroes to be like me, my nigga.
I agree with that.
I'm trash. I want to watch heroes do things
Could you repeat
not
that?
trash, Jody.
beyond me.
Timestamp. Jody's trash.
That
Please,
shit is
thank you.
Jody, you're not
crazy.
trash.
Agree.
Like
You're not
y'all
trash,
are-
Oh my gosh.
I want to aspire to be like Superman. I want him to teach me to be a better human. I want to mimic him. I want to
Yeah.
do these things that make me better.
To dream.
And you know what's crazy is
I
that
I feel like this though. The reason that a lot of people have problems with Superman is one, he's too damn powerful. Superman has a lot of power. They gotta dumb him down, which is crazy to me. Two,
Nah, I disagree with that.
They don't know the true story. of
JB's
Superman.
disagrees with you. Go ahead, JB.
It's like One Punch Man.
The solution is give him the threats that are worthy of Superman. You never
Thank
dumb down
you.
Superman.
That's
You
one
give
of
him the bigger threats, man.
Do you know all
Do
Superman
y'all
powers
really
that we
expect
see
this
right
nigga
now?
to show
The
up
ice-
at every bank robbery, bro? Do y'all expect him to just get the petty type criminals that other people can handle? No, bro. You got to give him those brainiac threats. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Those
you. Yes.
redo
yes.
Doomsday. You know what I'm saying? Redo
That-
Doomsday. You
But
know,
you
do
can't
some.
do that.
No,
You can't do
no,
that.
Deal
all
with
the
the
time.
no.
But do you
Do not do
understand that they
Doomsday.
I
dumb
know,
down his
yeah.
powers,
Freaking Snyder, bro.
His
Took that
powers are
shit.
his powers are dumbed down. Heat vision, cold breath, X-ray vision, super strength, super speed. That's not his only power. They had to dumb his shit down because he was too powerful. People are afraid to touch Superman because they don't know what to do with him.
Superman has been a written comic for 80 years. Sometimes them problems come up.
Yeah.
Trixie, welcome to JC. Trixie, are you good? The audio good?
I'm good. Yeah, I fixed it. I'm
Hey,
cool.
yeah, we hear her. We heard her. Trixie, man, you
I
heard all
don't
this.
even know what it is. My phone's been a right retard recently. I don't even know why. My phone just doesn't like me. Fuck it. So let me ask you all a question, because they're all having like some debates over Superman and what. Let me just ask you this, right? Ready? Who thinks that Superman is his secret identity, or who thinks that Clark Kent is actually his secret identity? Go.
It's Clark Kent.
It's Clark Kent. Clark Kent.
It's Clark
Kal-El
Kent.
is
So,
Superman.
Clark Kent.
conversations I have with people about this, and like, oh yeah, Superman's it. And I'm like, no, it's not. Clark Kent is his secret identity. Clark Kent is how he views the human race, like, you know, like weak, awkward, uncoordinated. Superman is who he is. I mean, like, fucking Kate was his goddamn
It's
baby
like-
blanket, supposedly. Whatever.
It's like Batman.
Do you know what I mean? So
Batman
I'm
is
happy
really
that
who-
you guys have all
Batman-
said
Bruce
that to
Wayne
be quite
is the
fair.
secret
So I didn't
identity.
pick somebody that-
It's like
What?
it's like,
Sorry.
It's like Bruce Wayne is the secret identity of Batman because reality, Bruce Wayne is the mask. Batman is who he really is. You know what I'm saying? That's always how it's always been. It's never the opposite from that.
Right.
You know what? I disagree with that one to an extent. Hear me out. Hear me out. So Bruce Wayne, to be quite fair, is he is human. He is born on Earth. He was Bruce Wayne. That is his birth name. He then has the persona of basically he's just a better Iron Man. Iron Man is shit compared to Batman. They're both just rich. Do you know what? I'm gonna put this persona on because what I'm actually doing with my money is that. Only Iron Man's like, hey, look at me, I'm doing it, and Batman's like, I'm gonna pretend to be doing this, but I'm actually fucking doing that. He's actually a rich vigilante who puts on the mask to go out and fucking try and save his city. So I would say that Batman, in fairness, is actually Bruce Wayne's secret identity because Bruce Wayne is actually Bruce Wayne. It's who he is.
Yeah, get her.
All right. No, I have to disagree with that because when Bruce Wayne's family was killed in that alley, he's never been the same. He changed completely. His whole MO, the way he is. When his mom and his dad got killed, Bruce Wayne was dead. He basically got killed in the alley.
I think that there is where I think that a part of Bruce Wayne died, and that is where Batman was born. But I mean, I don't really like. I say secret identity. I think that it's not really one or the other.
And this is exactly why Superman doesn't get no love. Here we are in a Superman conversation, and we're talking about Batman.
Yup.
Sorry,
No, it's not your. It organically got there. That's a problem. That happens all the time. He's overshadowed, run amok to the side, and what Warner Brothers has done, shelved him. And when the one time they did bring him back and try to make it happen, Snyder rode him again.
Right.
And I feel like all I'm saying is, guys, I want Henry Cavill to come back as Superman. But I'm not sure that he is the Superman of the future, tied to where he comes from.
Do you know what? Every time I hear Superman, there's two things I think of, and it's going to sound retarded. One, the first go-to I go to is Christopher Reeve. To be fair.
That's the best. That's the
Right.
Superman. Yeah,
And the second one, out of everything else that's gone on, the second one, it's retarded. I go Tom Welling, Smallville. It's fucking ridiculous. I know it
Trash.
is,
Get
but
that motherfucker
No,
out of
no.
here.
Hell no.
Trash. He's
I
no
understand
Superman.
why.
Hell no. He ain't no Superman. Get him out of
He
here.
never even put on the suit.
But you know when you guys
And
are
with,
saying how
and
he
with
doesn't
that,
give up
ladies
the
and gentlemen,
Superman
there it
doesn't give up
is.
with,
Sub to the
like,
motherfucking
Oh my
chat.
human problems.
god.
There it is.
I said, no, it's trash. I don't disagree.
There we
But you know
go.
when you guys are saying like, you never see Superman in a film coming up with human problems and normal problems. That's the only thing you've ever seen that gave him stupid ass normal problems. And that's the only reason I generally like it, to be fair. But otherwise, yes, no, it is trash. I generally like